Hello and welcome everyone to Copy and Paste, the clean and family-friendly Reddit reading podcast. This is the third episode of r/ProRevenge. I mean, the title explains itself. It's revenge done professionally. And we're on the third cycle, let's go. Please don't forget to leave a comment or send me an audio message if you want to recommend another subreddit. And don't forget, the usernames for all posts will be in the description, like always. Thank you for joining me. Okay, let's get started. Our first post is made by user/nzdevon. This happened in the early 2000s. I used to be a freelance front-end dev and a search engine optimization guru. Back then, getting on the front page of Google was pretty simple. Link exchanging was popular, but risky. I never did that, but I did have a single website that had serious page rank clout due to it being linked as a trusted source, directly from one of the top and most trusted websites in the world. I would use this website for the best clients to get their page rank and search engine position, leapfrogging other older and more trusted websites. One day, I was approached by someone I'll just call Bob. Now, Bob sold travel packages. He needed to revamp his basic existing website with a complex website built with pretty tricky back-end coding. I could do the front end, but I had to hire a back-end dev to build the functionality. Bob had a major launch in a month's time and it had to be ready. I usually asked for about 25% deposit upfront, but Bob said no. He was stung by the last dev and wasn't going to lose any more money. Now, from the moment I met Bob, my gut was telling me that this was going to end badly. The problem was, I needed the money and it was worth quite a lot of money for me and the dev. I skipped the deposit on the promise, he paid in full before it went on his server. Bob agreed. For an entire month, we worked day and sometimes all night to get this done in his time frame. With a day to spare, we had done it and had never been so proud of what we achieved. I was so excited to show Bob. The next day, I sent the link to the test server and he called me to discuss it. Bob said everything looked good, but he was worried his server's PHP version may be too old to run it. I assured him it would, but he said he was too scared it won't and we would scrub our hands of it. We went backwards and forwards, but he was insistent the site has to be uploaded and tested on his server before he parts with a penny. I chatted to my dev, he didn't like it either, but we agreed we would upload our work onto his server. Bob gave me the FTP details and server login, and I uploaded the site. I told him it was live, and then nothing. I sent several emails and then phone calls. The emails went unanswered and the phone went straight to voicemail. Sensing a major problem, I rushed to my computer, fired up the FTP program to delete our work on his server, and access denied. He had locked us out and the following day he went live with our work. For several days I tried calling, until one morning he answered the phone and said, listen, I'm not ever gonna pay you and there is nothing you can do about it. Then Bob hung up. Rage was a good word for my feelings. I was shaking while I still held the phone in my hand. For the next hour, my range of expletives was growing in complexity. As I sat there figuring out what to do, it hit me. The revenge will be mine. I registered a new domain name, which was Bob's Travel domain, plus sucks at the end. If Bob's website was called bobstravel.com, I had purchased bobstravelsucks.com. I uploaded our work, basically an exact mirror of his live website, onto my new domain. I used my all-powerful mega PageRank domain to link to my new sucks domain. Within a month, my website jumped above his website in Google for every conceivable search phrase you would use for the packages he sold. No matter what you typed in, my site was the first result, and his was always below mine. During that month, I created a second website, which was Bob's full name with sucks at the end. On this second website, I posted what happened, screenshots of his emails, and warning everyone what a conman he is. Bob had a somewhat unusual first and last time. Again, within a month, my website was above his own personal website. I then forgot all about it. About 4 months later, I get a cease and desist email from a solicitor's firm. A quick Google showed the solicitor's firm was made up and didn't even exist. I replied back with, I'm not ever going to take them down and there is nothing you can do about it. Every now and then, I'd get emails from people he had conned by taking their money for a travel package, but never booking their package. I'd put those on both of my websites, making sure those juicy important keywords. His full name and company name was spread across each negative review. A few more months pass and I get an anonymous email linking to a new domain called My Name Sucks. I'm told to remove my 2 websites and he will remove this new one. A quick search, and what do you know? It isn't even on Google. No one could find it. I reply back for a second time with his comment to me. As each month passes, I'm getting more and more people emailing me saying they've been ripped off. I keep adding them to my website. Turns out the travel agency world is well regulated, and they started an investigation into Bob's company, using my website as their main tool. I get a call from Bob. Bob is not a happy Bob. In fact, Bob is more of a desperate Bob. Looking at this text now, I know you can almost hear the despair and resentment in Bob's voice. Bob pleads and literally begs me to pull the sites down. Not only is he being investigated by the Travel Agency Association, but he had some very important friends that didn't appreciate the bad press he was causing in their circles. He offers to pay me the money he owed. Nothing more, just what he owed. For the 3rd time, and with a massive smile on my face, I say, listen, I'm not ever taking them down, and there is nothing you can do about it. Roll on a few months and I discover his travel company has been removed from all travel associations. No matter what you typed into Google, my website outranked his, and all the bad reviews on my site were the first thing his potential customers would see. I crippled his business so badly, it went bust. During the collapse, one of his ex-employees contacted me and told me how hard he had worked to get my websites off the first page. He had registered dozens and dozens of other domains in the hopes some would jump ahead. Little did he know only the top dozen websites in the world could jump it. Apparently, his property was tied into loans on the failing business, and he lost his house too. It took me just about a year to turn his business from a cash cow to a dead cow. Motto of the story: if you ever think to mess with the dev, don't. Our second post is made by user/FanaticCake. This is not my story, but from an educational advisor, one of the legit funniest people I have ever met. The other day we were talking about our school times and the differences between being educators and students when she started telling this story. She used to be the model student, getting along with all teachers and getting the best grades in her classroom. But there was that one teacher she could not get along with. It was a chemistry teacher, and she described her as all teachers have their breaking point, where they just start screaming, but hers was incredibly easy to find. Until the point of the start of the story, she was just an unliked teacher and someone my advisor just dealt with. But one day, she reached her breaking point when her brother told me this teacher, which I'm just gonna call her rude teacher, was calling him stupid and screaming at him for not knowing an answer she hadn't even explained properly yet. That was when she got involved in a plan, the famous toilet bomb. Because of the shared gender with the teacher, she knew where and when rude teacher would use the restroom. She had a strange routine with the exact time and stall she used to use, and because she as a model student, she could come and go without being even noticed, since no one would assume she was up to no good. Thing is, the whole class was in on it. Before she got involved with the plan though, there was a single condition. No one would rat or blame someone else. No one was supposed to talk anything. She had a plan. And to the toilet the bomb went. My advisor went to the stall, installed the toilet bomb, and went back to the class at the exact time rude teacher had her restroom break. When she came back from doing the deed, she sits down at a desk and hears the explosion, followed by rude teacher screaming bloody murder and coming back to class to scream at them. The only classroom that was on break for teacher transition was my advisor's class, so rude teacher beelined straight to them and started demanding to know who did this. Of course, radio silence. She jumped in anger like a toddler, making all threats she could legally do and made the biggest tantrum you could imagine, while being absolutely soaked in toilet water. Radio silence. The next logical step for rude teacher was to call the principal, that arrived at class with a box filled with pieces of paper. She explained that everyone was to write the name of someone involved in the toilet bomb and put there to be taken and read by her by the end of the class. That was when my advisor stepped in. The second the principal was out of the class, she told everyone to just write, "It was me," in capital letters and put the paper back in the box, which everyone did. When the principal came back and started looking at the papers in front of the class, she slowly turned from a normal color to a deep, fiery red and started throwing her own tantrum. Guess they found out her breaking point and did the only thing she could do at that. She suspended the whole goddamn class for 3 days. In the end, my advisor did everything. Blew up the toilet, led the class to not snitch on anyone, and earned 3 days at home with no one suspecting anything. Unfortunately, that was it for today. Thanks for joining me. To listen to this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, so on many more platforms, or to visit any of my socials, click the Linktree link in the description. And please feel free to send me an audio message or leave a comment. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.